So Keira's project was a brand new project for our lab that nobody had worked on before, and she was trying to develop our techniques so that we can better understand what happens to gold nanoparticles when they're released into the natural environment.
As nanoparticles are used more in industry and research, we're seeing like a huge variety of applications for them, and there is very little kind of environmental oversight to how they're being used and how the waste products are being treated. So the motivation for my research is looking at what the eventual fate of these nanoparticles in the environment is.
So she first learned how to synthesize all these different types of particles, and then she carried out 3 different kinds of tests on the particles. And all 3 of those tests were to kind of try to determine, did the cap stay in place, or did it get exchanged with something else, or what happened to the surface of the particle.
I took the nanoparticles and I took like a milliliter of each of them, and I centrifuged them, so that's spinning them really, really fast, and that pulls the nanoparticles out of the solution. So you get in the tube like this little tiny dot of purple at the bottom and then a whole bunch of solution. Then I pull that solution out and I take whatever environmental solution I'm interested in, so let's say the fresh water, put that in the solution with the nanoparticles, and the nanoparticles will resuspend so that it's this nice kind of purplish solution. The stability question is like, are the nanoparticles going to sort of stay suspended in the water system, or are they going to clump together and like in the clumping they take on more of the properties of bulk gold?
What we found is that natural material itself would cap the particles, like join on and add on to the existing cap and prevent them from clumping up in the solution. And the clumping question, whether they clump or not, is important because that determines where they end up if they're released into the environment. So if you release a bunch of particles into the environment and they're able to stay apart from each other, then they'll stay in the water and maybe get flushed out or diluted. But if they immediately start to clump together, then you're more likely to find them eventually in the soil or in the sediment at the bottom of the stream. And those kinds of questions are important to know the answers to going forward.